You're listening to a new episode of Girl Down Podcast with your host, me, Ayon. So sit back, relax, and listen as I unpack the uncertainty of my 30s, one episode at a time. What is the motherfucking deal, y'all? It's me, Ayon, and I know, I've been gone for a while. Please give me the opportunity to explain. Please give me some grace. So, I'm going to start it here. I am taking a sabbatical for the summer. I am exhausted and I need a break. I just need a break to really refresh, try to enjoy my summer, to just live life and have more experiences and just be inspired by more things. So when I come back to the microphone, we have more fulfilling and more deeper conversations to talk about. But y'all, to put it in a nutshell, I am just burnt out and a bitch just needs a break. And also, I'm preparing to move this summer. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But yeah, I have a lot of things going on. But please don't worry. I'm not stopping the podcast. I'm just taking a break just so I can really focus on starting this next chapter in my life. And I thank you all for supporting Girl Damn Podcast, for supporting me, and just for just being loyal and just being supporters. It's just so beautiful to see our community growing and the numbers getting larger by every day. And when I do come back with more regular episodes, we're just going to pick up like we never ended. And that's just my hope. So I hope to give you all some more like regular episodes at some point in the fall. You know me, you know I love a fab marketing campaign. So when I finally get into the space where I can plan that out, y'all will be the first to hear about it. I'm thinking about starting the next season of Girl Down Podcast with a very special guest interview. So I haven't forgotten about y'all. I'm just trying to enjoy my summer as well as just set some stuff up for my life. So that's just going to require me to just step back and take some time for myself. But I'm not just going to leave y'all with this message. I was going to do like several mini episodes like how I do, but I decided that I'm just going to give y'all one big ass episode, just so we can kind of talk about everything that's been happening since I've been away for the past month, and just to give y'all some stuff to marinate on and to chew on, to hopefully tide y'all over for the summer. So let's just start with a life update. On the day that I'm recording this, we're about a week out from Pride Month and NYC Pride. So the month of June, or even before the month of June, I've been doing. Summer started for me in Memorial Day. So I went to DC Black Pride Memorial Day weekend. That was such a beautiful experience. I got to see Big Frida perform in person, and it was just such a beautiful experience. And then the following weekend, I went to the first Baltimore Trans Pride. That was like the first weekend of June. I have to give a big shout out to Baltimore Safe Haven, the Aya Damones, London Smith de Richelieu. Also have to give a shout out to London, who is the who is the first black trans woman to hold office in Baltimore City, to hold a cabinet position. She was sworn in at the beginning of the month. She is the head of the Office for LGBTQ Affairs. So I'm really proud of her. And Baltimore is my home, and I just really love that whenever I come back to Baltimore, and I know that London is behind this, that I get my roses for the work that I did in Baltimore that kind of set the foundation for the movement that's happening in Baltimore right now. So it just really feels good to come back and to just be loved and to just be revered, and just to know that everything that I did when I started the Baltimore Trans Alliance, that even though BTA isn't operational, that so many other things have been able to evolve from that. And Baltimore Trans Pride was just a love fest. I got to meet Amaya Scott. She is so nice when you get to meet like somebody who is a celebrity, and they're just very down to earth and just around the way filet. And I just love that, because I've met so many of the quote unquote celebrity girls in the trans world, and it's no shade, a lot of them are just not authentic. They're not people. They're not one of the girls. So it's just very refreshing when you meet one of the girls and it's like, oh, this bitch is real. Like, she's really, what you see is what you get. So it was nice meeting her. Also, Miss Shay Shay, I love everything that you're doing, just being on TV. Love you down. Also, I took a little break, and then at the end of the end of June, excuse me, I was in New York for Pride. I was originally going for Pride, but then my job, we had a retreat, so I got to go a couple of days early. My job paid for me to come up earlier, and I got to participate in a work retreat, and I got to meet some of my coworkers in person for the first time, so shout out to them. It was really lovely meeting y'all. And then I did NYC Pride, but I did it my way. Because I'm at that age where just being hot and being in the big crowds of people, like, it just doesn't move me how it did when I was younger. So I'm always trying to, like, find left of center events where I get to be black, queer, trans, a woman, all of these things, but do it in a comfortable way. And finding comfort in New York City is very important, because New York City is a very uncomfortable place. So I would definitely have to give a shout out to Dominique Morgan, the Okra Project, the leadership team and the staff at the Okra Project. So that Friday that I was there, it was the last day of the Okra Fest. So basically, for those who don't know, the Okra Project is an organization that was, I don't know if it was founded by a black trans woman, but it was a black trans woman, Ian Field Stewart, and the premise of the org is that they provide home cooked meals to trans folks who were in need of those meals, and really it's like a food distribution organization where they're actually providing home cooked meals for people that need them, which I think is fabulous and it's great. And Dominique Morgan, who is a friend, who I was able to interview her on Box Number 512 podcast. Make sure y'all go find that interview. Was named the new executive director. Also, Dominique was the grand marshal for New York City Pride. And part of her coming into the organization is that she wants to start a festival to kind of not only celebrate the work that Okra Project does, but to be a celebration of transness and blackness, and grow it out to different events. So it was I went on Friday, and it just was a beautiful event. There was live performances from Community. Everybody was paid. It was catered by Black queer folks. The food was fucking amazing. Because I'm so used to going to these hoity-toity events and they spend all this money to cater the food and it's fucking nasty. Like, Miss Thing, they had salmon, oxtails and rice, yams, macaroni and cheese, greens, mashed potatoes, peach cobbler. Like, bitch, everything was so good. They had alcohol, they had Hennessy on deck, Miss Thing. And then they had giveaways, bitch. They had this highlighter from this because I guess they had sponsorships. They had highlighter, makeup, lipstick. They had this Glossier primer moisturizer that's mattifying, bitch. I took everything because I was like, I know this shit gotta cost at least $20-$30 on its own. So bitch, I'm taking everything. I have everything I need. I was able to redistribute that stuff to some of my girlfriends here in Baltimore yesterday. And I got to see people perform. I got to meet Drew Friday from Chasing Atlanta. And we got to kiki and smoke the greenery and just have a heart-to-heart. And shout out to DDM from Baltimore. We got to share time and break bread together, and I got to see him perform. I've never gotten a chance to see him perform before. I was in love. Dominique brought all her people out from Omaha. That's how you know your city really goes up for you, when you can fly or get all of them out to a whole different city. And Omaha was at the Okrafest Deep, and I just love that. I know Dominique is going to have it in Atlanta next year because Dominique is moving to Atlanta like in a month. So Okrafest will definitely be one of those events that I'm just going to support. Anyway. And we as Black trans folks, we got to get into a space where we are really supporting our own events, supporting stuff that is curated especially for us. That means supporting Okrafest. That means going to BTAC. That means, like, we have to start to practice showing up for events that are created and curated specifically for us. I also got to share space with my sisters Aria Saeed of the Transgender District. Sis, please don't worry, I am planning. One of my next trips that when I go back to California will be the Bay Area. I have to come and do my walkthrough of the Transgender Cultural District, and you have to give me the tour. And there's so many people that I love and care about that live in the Bay Area that I'm probably gonna have to be there for like a week just to be able to see everybody and do everything. I also got to share space and spend time with my sister Diamond Styles. Shout out to it was just so great to see them. I was able to bring my friend Miss Rowe with me, who lives in New York, and it was just a good time had by all. Saturday, I got my facial. Y'all know how I am about my skincare, and so whenever the weather breaks, usually in the fall and like in the dead of winter, I'll get my seasonal facial. So I was able to go to Fair Skin Spa. I had went to Fair Skin Spa in Atlanta. Shout out to Ray Fair, but he also has another brand. He opened up another second location in New York. I was able to go get my facial by a trans woman. Shout out to you, Miss Christie. Thank you for doing my facial. My skin is sitting, bitch, and I'm ready to take on the summer. And you have to treat your skin right. And doing my facials, that's one of the ways that I do my self-care. You have to treat your skin right. You have to invest into yourself. It's a must. Then I treated myself to Strange Loop. It's a play that's on Broadway. If you have not seen it, I highly, highly, highly suggest that you buy your tickets now. This play is going to be like the next hot shit that they turned into a movie. So Strange Loop, this is a play that recently, well, this last month won musical of the year at the Tony Awards. This is the same play that made Jennifer Hudson a EGOT winner. She is a producer on a play, and I'm not going to give the whole play, do a spoiler alert. The premise of the play is about a black fat gay man who wants to be a musical writer, who currently works is an usher at one of the Disney shows, and it's basically about him having to work through his negative self-talk in order to get to the place where he can really write his musical and share his art with the world. You need to go see this play. Also, shout out to our sister L. Morgan Lee, who has a lead role in this musical. She's the first black trans woman ever nominated for Best Actress. I got to meet her after the play and just pour into our sister and give her encouraging words. So make sure if you're in New York, you go out and support. You go buy your tickets. You go talk and mingle with the people. They typically come out after the show and just are with the crowd. I had her sign my playbill because we have to get in with our people on the ground floor. And Miss Mama was singing down. I believe the whole cast is queer. Or part of the community. It was just so good. I also gotta give a shout out to my Airbnb, Miss Thing. So I got an Airbnb in Brooklyn, and Miss Thing, my Airbnb was whenever I go back to New York, I'm only going to stay in Brooklyn because the Airbnb that I had in Harlem, although it was great, the place wasn't enough space, and I felt like I got all the space that I needed in Brooklyn. And I liked the neighborhood that I was in. This trip to New York really kind of reaffirmed why I don't want to move to New York, even though I work at an organization that's based in New York. And it's a couple of things. I'm a grown-ass woman. I need space. I need the rent not to be crazy. And also, I need to be able to travel. And I just hate about New York that it takes you so long to travel short distances because there's so many freaking people. So I just don't think, even if I was making more money, and it's crazy because when you're young, everybody wants to come to New York and have that dream, but the adult version of me is just like, no, like I need space to just be me. Now I will have to travel back and forth to New York because there's just certain stuff that I'll have to do for my job in person, which requires me to come to New York courts. But other than that, a bitch is moving to the South. Once I get settled, I will share with you all the location that I'm moving to. I am very nervous. I am very scared, but I'm somebody that typically, people have told me that I do really well with operating in uncertainty. And one thing with me, I ain't never going to starve, and I ain't never going to go out without a roof over my head. So I believe in myself, but I feel like it's time for me to come back to the South, place my roots, and really try to start to focus on the next half of my life. So, getting back to New York, Sunday, I chill out in my lovely Airbnb. I watched the parade on TV, and I came out later. I wanted to go to the piers because I went to the piers for the first time last year, and it was just a beautiful event. This year, they tried to do some crowd control. So, last year when I went to Pride, it was just a free for all. You could just walk wherever you want to. Near the piers, you could go wherever you want to. This year, it was a lot of police presence. Everything was barricaded, so you couldn't just walk directly to the pier from the street that you were at. You would get all the way to one street, and you would have to walk about 6 or 7 blocks down to the one street that they were allowing you to go to the pier. And then once you finally got to the pier, you would have to then walk all these blocks back up, and the police were really enforcing these boundaries. And then when you got to the pier, they had it the barricades blocked up where you were only allowed to be on the grass. You couldn't like go to the water. And I was just like, this is not fun. Like, this is not. And I feel like it was less people at the piers this year than I remember seeing last year. But yeah, the police are on every fucking thing. I wanted to be on the water. I still got to be around the people, and I still got to see the people. But this year, it just felt, being at the piers felt different because the police was there, and like, you couldn't really move how you wanted to move. And it's just like, that defeats the purpose of being on the pier. Miss Thing, you want to be free. You want the wind to come through your hair, and you know. But I got to be with my friend Miss Rowe again. We got to be on the pier and do our thing and mingle with the people, which when I go to Pride, that's really what I'm looking to do, to just mingle with the people, or just sit and people watch and just see us be free. Like, that's what's liberating to me. Then we went to some place in the Meatpacking District, and I went to the Donutery where they make the donuts right in front of you. And for me, I could only be out for a certain amount of hours, and then it was time for me to go back home and get some rest. I'm not the type of person that can just stay up all night. And no, like, at a certain time my body will start to shut down, and it'll be like, okay girl, it's time for you to to move it and groove it to a different location, to a location with a bed. So I turned down pretty early, and then when I woke up, I saw some of the girls was in the village till like 8 a.m. I was like, God bless y'all, because I can't do it. My body's not programmed for that. It's not set up for that. But NYC Pride was a beautiful time, and here we are in July, and I'm recording this episode the day before 4th of July. So yeah, thank y'all for giving me the time to just explain what has been going on over this past month. And I'm pretty sure I've left some other stuff out that I've done over the month, but Pride was crazy, and it's even crazier when you work for a LGBT org, because all of these quote unquote allies want something from you at the same time. So Pride Month is not fun like it used to be when people didn't have any expectations of me, and I could just come and go as I please. Like, working, I forgot about this when I wasn't working for these orgs, but now coming back, I realized that should I stay in this position, I'm going to have to really create some barriers and try to set my schedule up so that during Pride Month, I'm not working to the point of exhaustion, and I can actually enjoy my month for me with my people. So yeah, I thought I was going to give y'all a full episode of a life update, but I feel like I've been able to update y'all enough, so I'm going to end it here. But I think I'm going to do another episode where I kind of put together all of the other topics that I'm going to talk about together. So thank y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for also shout out to Anna Deshawn. While I was in New York, I got to sit on a panel full of other Black queer podcasters, just talking about my creative process and why I need, just what Girl Down Podcast is about, and just different lessons that I've learned along the way. So Anna, thank you so much for just thinking of me in that way and platforming me and wanting to feature me. It just means so much to me as a creator, somebody that's doing something independently that I am seen by my own. So thank you so much for that. I had to shout you out, but I'm going to end this episode. I love y'all, and stay tuned, and I'll be back in the fall. I love y'all. Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. If you like the show, Please be sure to go on over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review this podcast. Also, make sure that you're engaging with me on social media. Also, if you have any inquiries or you want to send me any questions, be sure to email me at girldownpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, bye y'all.